So let's go straight into it. Shoprite is the largest retailer in sub-Saharan Africa. It was founded by Christo Wiese and Whitey Basson. That was in the 1970s and trades as Shoprite, Checkers, OK, Furnishers, USave and Hungry Lion. Paul loves that term. He's not here to talk about it today. It has a market cap of 95.3 billion rand, price to earnings ratio of 25 and a dividend yield of 1.7%. Sasha, does Hungry Lion resonate as much with you as it does with Mr. Turan?
Hungry Lion is fried chicken. So there are 160 of them, I think, of the total of 1,800 stores plus. I think they've got 150 stores outside of South Africa, so fairly sizable African footprint, but still the supermarket side is 71 out of 93 billion odd rands of their actual sales. So it's purely a South African business still, but somehow manages to get an Africa growth story multiple. So maybe we can get into the nitty-gritty a little bit later there. But I think cast your mind back to a while when Christo Wiese and Whitey Basson and the guys at Brait must have known something different, because they try to take this one off the market at under 30 bucks a share. Needless to say, it's a function 5 times higher than that, less than 10 years later. So amazing industry with great growth prospects still, I think.
It certainly rewarded shareholders to this point. A slight pullback that we've seen of late, Chris. Should you take advantage and perhaps get into the stock? It may not get cheaper down the line.
Look, it might get a little bit cheaper, it just depends on sentiment. But if you're looking at the fundamental earnings growth coming out of Shoprite, that's still very much intact indeed. And I think something that many observers are not paying attention to is the fact that around about 10%, a little bit less than 10% of their earnings comes out of the rest of Africa. And until recently, when we had a relatively strong rand, that wasn't such a wonderful investment. But now with the rand having weakened considerably, I think when we get the next set of results coming out, I think that's going to show up as being a very, very nice earnings kicker.
In terms of Shoprite, have we got exposure, Sasha, do you know, in the portfolio?
No, not in the hot stocks portfolio, although amongst some of our clients who are looking for something a little bit different in terms of, just to add maybe to that point that Chris was making, growth outside of our borders, so that's to the north of our borders. I think revenue growth topped 28% in the last set of results, so growing really quickly. And I think what makes them slightly different from some of the other groups is that they've only got 5 big supermarkets in Nigeria so far. So out of a population of 160 million, I would think they'd be able to maybe grow into that market a lot quicker in the coming years, having probably paid their school fees earlier than everybody else.
What about a couple of the other brands within the fold? OK Furnishers, does that stand out? And I'm just looking at the Ellerine story to say what is happening on the furniture side for Shoprite.
Yeah, I think, what I said is it's still a South African food grocer business. So, the bulk of their sales still comes from South Africa and South African grocery. So I think it's a small part.
These are tiny little elements.
Well, they're smaller parts of the business. They've gotten all sorts of different interesting businesses, like your personal favorite Hungry Lion, or Paul's personal favorite Hungry Lion. So what's to say that they can't buy someone like Famous Brands, who've just got a footprint in Nigeria? Who's to say that sort of thing, although that's probably a little bit outlandish.
Chris, do you think we're going to see any of the other brands within the fold gaining in momentum?
Don't think so. No, I think this is very much a Shoprite story. And maybe USave, at the very low end of the market as well. Look, there are 3 big stories, I think, when it comes to Shoprite. One is the fact that obviously many of their customers are recipients of social grants. There's the African story. But I think beating even any of these is the fact that this is a distribution story. They beat any of the competitors, bar none, into a cocked hat in terms of their ability to actually distribute their goods. And that, to me, is pivotal in this business.
Hot or not on Shoprite, Sasha Naryshkine?
Hot.
Chris, hot or not?
This is so hot it's not true. This is really, really hot.